CEO and founder of Make Water Famous. You know, we talked last week, Natasha, and I looked at the website and I see what you're doing. I'm very excited to have this conversation with you.
It's fantastic to be here, Frank. An absolute privilege. Thank you for asking me.
Oh, it's wonderful. So why don't you start off by giving us a little bit of background on yourself and the work that you're doing with water?
Sure, I'd love to. So my background is in water journalism. I'm a former magazine editor on trade journals, including World Water, Water and Wastewater Treatment, and WWT Online.
Yeah.
And I moved into PR, public relations, about 8 years ago, setting up my own company, Wise on Water.
Mm-hmm.
And we work with companies globally, many at the cutting edge of innovation, helping them get the message out about the developments of technologies and the services that are going to, solve the water crisis. What a privilege. But my latest venture is called Make Water Famous, and that's a public-facing, positive news platform all about water. And it's not for profit, and we think it's a world first. We don't think such a platform has existed before. Only telling the solution-led stories about water in a way that is understandable to a general audience. So we're thinking of water in the broadest possible terms, hoping to find the places it intersects with people's lives so that we can bring it to life for them in context of their lived experience.
That's terrific, because I've looked at the site. I mean, we are Global Waterworks. We're very positive on the future of water. And as you bring out stories in the positive nature, it really presents the right, what we think is the right view, but certainly the best view of water. So with that, you have the PR firm, you started this. So when you get up in the morning, what motivates you every day?
Well, I think what motivates me in this industry is what's always motivated me, and that's knowing that the most important thing in the world is probably water. And I learned that at a really young age. My father was a water journalist, so I literally grew up in a household where that was a topic of conversation. And I think once you've seen the world through that lens, it's very hard to see it any other way. And when you're working with people with that expert knowledge, who believe that we can transform the situation with water with the solutions that are already available. And that's where I find hope for humanity and the planet. So that's as motivating as it could get.
It's interesting because our poll this week in the community is, when did you first learn about conserving water? And the response, I run a poll every week, been running them since the beginning of the year. This poll has the most responses of any poll. And it is interesting, especially in the comments, when people first got engaged with water. So your early age thing, and I can remember certainly my mother was always shut the water off. So I can, at a very early age, through fear, we kept the water off. So in what you've been doing, give us an example of, I know it's early stage and Make Water Famous, but give us an example of the impact that you've had at this point in time.
Sure, as you say, we are at the very early stage. We launched in October, but what's delighted me the most is just how excited people get when they see the platform. We wanted to create a product, if you like, or a platform with really high production values, a sort of BBC for water, if you like. So we engaged a really talented design development team that we think have delivered on that. I feel like it's the way that people are already connecting with the brand, the way younger people can pull it up on their phones, it scrolls really nicely and they feel it's for them. Mm-hmm. And they want to use it, and people are saying to me, oh God, I'm going to come here every day, it's lovely. So it's a labour of love for us, really, to create something that people want to use.
And you know how important it is, certainly, to get the next generation engaged in water with our aging workforce in water across the globe. So that's very interesting to hear. So what pleasant surprises have you had?
Well, I think the one recent surprise I had was just to do with the data and analytics we're getting from the site, and to see just how good our engagement rate is. It's over 5 minutes. I'm told that's really good, because that means that people are staying on the site, reading at least one article, probably 2 or 3, and finding something new that's worth staying there for. And we've designed the site without paywalls, without pop-ups, without adverts, in order to make that news as accessible as possible, so that the experience is one that they want to stay in. And that seems to be being borne out by the stats we're already getting from it. Now we're looking for partners to help us grow the platform. I'd love to be able to employ a dedicated editor, moderators to manage social media, so we can really drive that engagement across all the channels we're using, and build other channels if possible. So yeah, there's plenty to go at.
Endeavor. So you're early on in establishing a relationship with Global Waterworks. Just in the early looks, and I know you've been on the community, I know you met Mary. What are your thoughts on the value of Global Waterworks?
Sure. Well, I was introduced to Global Waterworks by a media contact of mine. I think media and communications are a key part of solving the water crisis, and one that's often undervalued and misunderstood. Water's an information hungry, but science and tech dominated world. And those, what is described as softer skills, are sometimes marginalized, and yet they're where the transformation could actually be engineered in terms of public engagement, because people are a part of this cycle, this glorious cycle, and if we can't reach them, we can't achieve our ends, can we? So I think Global Waterworks really understands that importance, the importance of communications in the work that you're doing, and of connecting people and driving collaboration. So I think that there's great work we can do together to share that knowledge around.
And we look forward to working together with you. So coming back to you and making water famous, take a kind of look into the future, the next maybe 12 to 18 months. What are you thinking it's going to look like?
Well, the potential for Make Water Famous is limitless in my eyes. We've created a universal brand that can work at any level, from individuals, grassroots, communities, utilities, supply chain, up to intergovernmental level if we need to. It's a universal message to make water famous. It's something anyone can take part in. The platform is already being used as an educational resource at all levels, from primary, elementary, right through to university. But we'd love to build out those resources for schools and colleges, if we can find partners that want to go on that journey with us. We're just completing a new section to the website called Awesome Projects, and we can curate project pages for partners, updating as the projects progress. And that could be any kind of project, from infrastructure projects, community projects, photography competitions, podcast series. It can, we've got a really flexible template that we can wrap around any kind of multi-partner projects of any sort. So we're really excited about that. But really the future depends on the industry getting behind Make Water Famous and coming to talk to us about how their organisation can be involved. We've got loads of fun ideas and we're completely open to new ones. We just want to grow this and be the default place that people go to share information and find out about water. So anyone can help Make Water Famous. You just need to talk about it, right?
Absolutely.
But you can go to makewaterfamous.com if you're short of talking points, or you want better ones, or you want more. And please share our content, and please share your stories with us so that we can get them out there and get them further.
And we will. And Mary and I are very excited about what you're doing, your future, and how we can work with you to help you make water famous, because connecting people with their water is what will make water work globally and solve that global water crisis. It's wonderful work you're doing.
Thank you very much, Frank, and you and Mary and the rest of the Global Waterworks community. It's a privilege to be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for spending this time with me, Natasha. As I said earlier, have a wonderful time in Italy next week. I am very jealous.
Take care. Will. Happy World Water Day, or World Water Day week.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.